Woo! There we go. Yeah. Hello there, guys. Hi. Thank you very much for joining me. Very happy to have you here for this really simple but effective lesson. And this is just some open chord tricks that, most professional guitarists and stuff they'll all know and use their playing. But this stuff might not be so obvious to guys that, are newer to guitar and, they hear the simple open chords being played, but they sound a lot better than what you hear when you play. So I'm going to try and shed some light on some of the stuff that you can do with your open chords to make them instantly sound better. So we're going to take a very simple chord progression today. Make sure you've got your guitars up, they're in tune. You got your whiskey, your coffee, your green smoothie, whatever you're into, and you're ready to go. Right, so G, D, E minor. G, D, E minor. They're the only chords we need to know. If you know these chords, we're already off to a good start. Alright, G, D, and an E minor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through 5 steps or 5 different things that are going to be able to, I think 5 anyway, not really counted, but quite a few things that we're going to be able to add to this progression to make it consistently sound even more glorious than the last. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, right, it's going to be really simple. And the strumming, not really thinking about it, it's just going G, D, E minor. First thing, we've got an E minor 7. So, generally, all we need to do when we go into a G, then we go into the D, we're going to put our pinky on the high E, as we come into an E minor 7, and sometimes that sounds a little bit nicer than just to play an old D minor. I hear you. Okay, Tony, that's not, a big wow. Okay. But we're going to do something else to change things up a little bit, right? Rather than just go right into a plain old D, alright, we're going to get the thumb over and do an F sharp bass. This really adds some colour. I love this chord. D. Sometimes you can get the bass note and strum, or you can just get the whole chord. And generally, the thumb mutes the A string, so you go right into the D. Alright? So yeah, and there's already an F sharp in a D chord. So you're just playing the D, but taking one of the notes out and playing it as the bass, so the F sharp. With F sharp bass in E minor 7. Okay, so sounding a bit better, but it's still not blowing anybody's socks off here, right? So the next thing we want to look at is to start adding some different dynamics into our playing. Now I'm going to divide this into 2 steps. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is muting the guitar. And we can do that in different ways. We can completely mute the guitar, and we do that by having our palm over here on this side of the hole, the sound hole, right? So basically, you just dampen the strings. You don't have your hand completely down, and you're not hearing anything, right? You want to just play around with that. Until you just get that dampened sound. This is really good, right? If you have 2 different parts of a song, right? You get a verse and a chorus, and you're just you go from the chorus, and in the verse, I was walking down the street and I seen someone with some really big feet looking at me, and I thought to myself, I like feet. Something like that, So yeah, and again, you just have your palm over here, palm muting. Nothing too complicated about it. You just need to get it right. Alright, now you can also do a little bit of palm muting and a little bit of not palm muting. So... And you know what, these kind of things, right, the dynamics are what take you from sounding amateur to sounding good, like you're playing with feel, because that's what it's about. Dynamics are all about feel, right? So like when you're talking and you're singing, you're not always speaking like this, or else, yeah, people are going to switch to another video really quickly. You want to talk with emotion, right? And that's different, and you want to approach the guitar in the same way. So you're not always... You go. Right, and I'm not going to tell you, okay, I'll go a little bit harder in this strum, right? Sometimes you get all the strings, it's quite nice. You need to just experiment with that yourself. Just practice and going a little bit softer and harder sometimes. Alright. Okay, so once we add in dynamics, that's when things start to sound really cool. Now, to get things sounding really super duper cool, we need to start adding in some licks and fills, alright? So to do that, we need to know the scale that we're using. So when we're playing in the key of G, alright, we've got on our doorstep the G major or G major pentatonic scale. So I can go 3, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 3, right? And with a little extension of that, 5, 3, 5, 3, 4. Can go up to 5 as well, get this little note. And we can use all those notes. Alright, that was quite fast. Now, if you know the blues scale, the E blues scale is the same. E minor is G major's evil twin, so they share the same notes. Alright, but yeah, you can use that. Now, an easier way to think about it is see these notes on the 2nd fret. You can use all of them, right? You can take your index finger and just have fun there, right? So let's try and do something with that. Alright, it's things like that, like hammering on the D and pulling off, and then 2 in the A. Alright, you can do the famous lick that's been played in countless songs, including 75 of my YouTube videos. But you slide from 2 to 4 on the G, 3 in the B, back down, 42 in the G, or so, some ideas for some open chords to take your playing and make it into something, you know, don't want to say better, but cooler. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that. A nice simple one, but take it easy. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.